Now it's time for Geek'd Out, an in-depth look at the nerdy depths of your soul. And here's your host, Carter Anderson.
Thank you. Oh my God, he's so pretty. Thank you. Woo, take it off. No, that's inappropriate. That is inappropriate. Okay, that's not what we're gonna have on this show. Okay, please don't do that. Actually, security, could you? Yeah, we'll just wait until that person's gone, and they're gone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geeked Out. I'm your host, Carter Anderson. We are at it again. We are doing another show. As a lot of you know, I host the show in the meantime. And we decided to do something that's a little bit more me. So decided to flex on all of these people. And we're going to do an awesome comedy geek show. And our first episode is about Star Wars. Let's go ahead and bring in our first comedian. Our first one, this guy, I love this guy. I've been out here in Austin for about a year now, and I was kind of lonely the first couple weeks, and he was the first one to kind of embrace me. He's a cool dude. He's awesome. He's a great person. I look up to him, even though he's only 5'2". Give it up for Tremaine Bradley.
Hey, what up? What's up? I appreciate being here. Just so y'all know, I am Carter before he got the job.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you got yourself together. I guess I did.
You're doing better. I'm glad that you please keep that job so I can shave this off.
Yeah. It's all about selling out. Okay, don't let anyone tell you different. That should be the goal the entire time.
Instead of Doc Brown, I have Morgan Freeman.
Exactly. Our next comedian, he is actually from Bend, Oregon. If you've ever been there, it's okay. You probably were just on your way to Portland, Oregon. Give it up for Cole Robeson.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, let me tell you, I love your background, and I really love that shirt, Cole.
Thank you so much.
Just out of curiosity, not that we've talked about this earlier or anything, but what is that shirt made of?
It's it's made of rayon, which actually most Hawaiian shirts are made of, but it's a type of wood fiber. And it's both stronger and lighter than silk.
Okay, so let me help me understand this. So they start out with cutting a tree, and then they chop it up, and then they make that shirt. Is that pretty much what happens?
I don't know, but that's what I assume. I like to do a good joke with this shirt. If I wear this shirt on stage, I like to say, I love these kinds of floral shirts. These shirts always make me feel, like I'm in a Pakistan.
Well, it's good. It's good. You're able to immerse yourself in a lot of different cultures. It's a good time. All right, guys. So what we are going to be talking about today is Star Wars. Pretty much the whole franchise. Back when it was with Fox, the Mandalorian. We'll kind of get into all of it. Honestly, 30 minutes isn't really enough time to dive into all of Star Wars. There's a lot of fucking Star Wars. Shit's been on since the 70s. Yeah. So, but we're going to do the best we can. The first subject that I want to get into that I think will be a good first step is I want to talk about the prequels. Okay? I know that a lot of people don't really fuck with the prequels. We were talking a little bit before the show started. Now, Cole, you were saying that you kind of grew up with that shit.
Well,
because you're a bit younger than us.
Well, I like to tell a lot of people, my very first Star Wars experience was playing Lego Star Wars on the PlayStation 2. And, so I'm used to seeing Yoda flip around and stuff, and everybody hated that. And I was just like, that's just what Yoda does. Now, I don't like the Shakespearean dialogue. I hate that in Thor. I hate that in the prequels. But the story and the whole universe, I like a lot better than the originals.
Yeah, okay, that I get. I don't know. My personal opinion about like the prequels is that, like in the original movies, the Jedi, it's just this like dead language. It's like Latin. It's like a dead religion. No one remembers it. Then we go to these prequels where, oh, this shit is real. They're like pretty much like they're the last line of defense. Everyone knows what a Jedi is. Like, they got sponsorships, they got a temple.
Yeah.
They have a Jedi temple. Like, they got people. It's diverse. They got a black dude in there. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Like,
not just a black dude. They have Samuel Jackson, the black dude. Like
the black dude.
It's him. And it's him and the guy that played God in Bruce Almighty. What's it? Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
They're the only two black people that exist.
Yeah,
according to Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And recently Kevin Hart.
Yeah, and Forrest Whitaker from time to time, like he gets his periods of. Oh
yeah, they don't count Will and Denzel because they just be like, nah, they just people. Like they just.
Oh yeah. They're once you get to a point of like white people famous, like it's
like nah, they just like, you know what, they're just good people. They're one of us, okay?
Come on, we're taking them.
Come on,
we're taking them.
They're like, hey, I've seen a Will Smith film. They're like, I've seen Will Smith. That's one of the good ones. No, we need to do an age check before we do this. Before we talk about these prequels.
Okay. Yeah. Well, 22. Exactly. I think I'm the age of the prequel lovers.
Jesus. Yes. Yeah. Pretty much.
I mean, and also it's like Clone Wars came out when I was in like 5th grade, and that changed the game. That was so good. It's still I watch it again these days. I love it.
I mean, it's a pretty rough movie. But my big issue.
I mean, the show.
Oh, Clone Wars was great.
Not so much.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not you didn't mean Attack of the Clones. You meant Clone Wars. Yeah,
Clone Wars. Yeah, no,
Clone
Attack
Wars
of the Clones. I like.
amazing.
Yeah, Clone Wars is the first one, the old one, and the new one are all great. I love them.
Yeah. If you get a chance, if you've already seen like the show, please watch the last season, especially because that's when shit goes down.
They made
it's about to go down. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, they made the last 4 episodes of the last season, so you can just watch it without having to watch any of the other stuff before. Man, it's good because it overlaps with episode 3 and when Order 66 happens.
Yes,
awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't want to give any stuff away, but like, Ahsoka is amazing. Like, you really get to see her in like her true form in that last bit of the show. Like, it pretty much is all about her. Just kind of, getting through, and like, it's just, you really see like the true heartbreak of what has happened to the Jedi. Like, this was a whole way of life. This was a religion, and now it's just like it's kind of like 90s R&B. Just like old people remember it, and everyone else is like, "What's that? I don't know what that is." Oh my God, is that from TikTok? I think that's from TikTok.
The other thing I love to see about Ahsoka's story is that, of course we know Liam Neeson and Count Dooku had some gray Jedi stuff going on, but we get to see Ahsoka transfer from a Jedi youngling to a gray Jedi.
Yeah, she really does take like every single one of the lessons that she's learned over the war. Like, that's one thing about her, like, training, is that she had to learn to become a Jedi during a fucking war. You know?
Yeah. And that trained by Anakin, no doubt, like that.
Oh yeah. And then they get upset when, like, she like breaks the rules or like disobeys direct orders.
Yeah.
And we're all just like, motherfucker, where do you think she learned that from?
Well, they always make those kinds of jokes. They acknowledge that, which I love. But I love how you see Ahsoka when you first meet her. She's super annoying little kid. In the last season, she was like my favorite character by far.
Oh yeah, she's a full realized adult.
And she's going to be in the next season of Mandalorian. So
yeah, that needs to happen. One thing I love about the Clone Wars is that not very many people have seen it, but it's still canon. But you can still follow the storyline without needing to watch the Clone Wars. It just kind of gives extra background. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just kind of like just what happened during the war, like it. But yeah, the whole that whole story is beautiful. Like, you forget when you're watching it, you forget that this shit is made for kids. This is for children. Like, it was on Cartoon Network. That's when it was like first on or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Isn't Freddie Prinze Jr. one of the voices?
Is he?
Dude, there are so many voices. I noticed. Man, what's that? Man, I can't. There are so many just celebrity drop-in voices for single episodes. It's crazy. I can't remember what the one I noticed the other day was. But
the only reason why I bring him up is because he was doing an interview where there's a whole bunch of people who have been like shitting on not only the prequels but shitting on the new trilogy, because they're like, it's not like the original. The original is so much better. Which I'm one of the people, not completely shitting on him, but I'm one of the people. And he was like, think about how old you were when you saw the original. He was like, you were a fucking child. And this is him talking. He's like, you were a child when you saw the original. Yeah. Why? Because that movie was made for fucking children. So you have on these lenses of what once was. And of course, it's not going to be as good because you're not a fucking child anymore.
Yeah.
But let a kid watch the prequels. Let a kid watch the new trilogy that came out. They will love it. Why? Because it's made for them.
Yeah, dude, there were kids crying in the theater when I saw the Rise of Skywalker. Like, the kids were so all about it, going, man, that's the Millennium Falcon. And they cried. And I was like, and everybody, over the age of 15 was just like, man, this sucks.
I'll be honest with you. I was one of them ones that was crying. I was a bit like, I loved him. I hated Last Jedi, and I'm sure we're gonna get into that. But I was one of the people who loved Force Awakens, and I loved Rise of Skywalker. Why? Because there was so much bullshit that was put into Last Jedi, and a lot of these fans are like, oh, it's okay. It makes sense because he's actually doing something different. I'm like, no, if you actually know, he was making his movie with the mindset that he was going to do an offshoot trilogy. That's why he introduced so many characters, and he just said fuck other characters that were introduced before, because he was thinking beyond that movie. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there was so much stuff that happened in the film that we didn't even get. We have no idea what that kid. Remember the kid that can use the Force at the very end when he grabbed the broom.
Yeah.
We have no idea. There's so many things that were like that he brought up that were, I'm not gonna lie, were great ideas. But in the grand scheme of we're moving towards the last movie, why are you introducing 200 brand new characters and we have one more movie to go?
Right. And I think they kind of screw themselves in setting it in the trilogy formats. And it's like, maybe I get they worked before, but it's like, I think they need to move away from that and just do, like, I love Rogue One, and Solo was pretty good.
Rogue One was
amazing. Rogue One had the best Star Wars battle scene of all time. And that Darth Vader scene,
man, when he used the Force and put him in the air and then use the lightsaber to cut, I was like, yo, what? I was in the theater. I'm over here hitting I'm like, hey, you see this? And this guy's like, I don't know who you are. I'm hitting him. I'm like, you see it? We're watching the same thing, brother. We're watching the same thing. But
we're doing this together. We're in this together, bud.
When we see that, because you watch the prequels and then you watch the originals, and obviously the originals just have, worse production than the prequels just because of time. But then you have this imagination of what these characters are supposed to be with good production. And then we see that scene in Rogue One and we go, that's my Darth Vader. that's what I knew Darth Vader could be.
And truth
And
be
that's-
told, it kind of matched. Like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
say it was perfect, but one thing that I loved about Rogue One was they went to a lot of practical, and that's why I love The Mandalorian. There isn't a whole lot of
Mhm.
CGI. They try to actually build and construct these things. So a lot of the scenes, they were actually like building these contraptions so that it can match better with the original trilogy.
Yeah. Mandalorian is the best Star Wars thing created post Clone Wars, I think.
Absolutely.
That's the
I think
best.
Without a doubt.
yeah, they truly like nailed that. I mean, and obviously with the Mandalorian, everyone's kind of obsessed with Baby Yoda. By the way, he's not actually Yoda's baby.
Right.
No, it's a right. I like that. Thank you.
Or
for
Yoda
that.
That
as
would
a
be
baby.
great, though. That would be a great episode of Maury. Where
I do have a theory about it, though.
What's your theory? Go ahead.
So, because you know how Yoda has no planet of origin, like it's all unknown, his species is unknown. I think maybe Yoda might be a being brought to life completely by the Force, and there's always one of them. So, like when Yoda dies, this baby comes, and because we've seen Anakin was born without a father. So I think the Force could like bring a being into existence, and that's what the Yoda species is.
Well, they said technically they the Force, almost like the Jesus story. They said technically Anakin didn't have a father. Technically, he was brought into creation by the Force.
Yeah, and he really, at the end of the day, when people like look at like all the stuff that Anakin did once he became Darth Vader, they're like, oh man, he like destroyed, like he left the Force in darkness. No, he actually did bring balance to the Force because
absolutely.
Because when you think about the prequels, they're at the height of their power. They are bigger than everybody. There's only two fucking Sith. They're doing their shit. They are living their best life. They are having a good time.
There's a great meme that was like that said, us Jedi bring balance to the Force. 1500 to 2 seems balanced to me.
That's perfect. Oh man, that's perfect. We gotta you gotta find that and show it to me when you can.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, he truly, like, by destroying the Jedi, he brought balance to the Force, and it seems like fucked up to even say that, but it made it a fair fight, and honestly, in the prequels, they were kind of getting ahead of themselves, like the Jedi. They were planning on taking over. They were like investigating, like the Chancellor, and obviously he was doing some dirty shit.
Right.
But they were taking a lot of things upon themselves that really shouldn't have been up to the Jedi.
If you really think about
that's why I love a gray Jedi so much, is they are the balance,
If you really think about it, Anakin did bring balance, because when he effectively like went rogue and decided to go into being the Sith, and remember what Yoda said, they were like, well, he was supposed to bring them balance, and he was like, no, there's another, and the another was Rey. I mean, yes, she's a quote unquote nobody, but he brought the balance, and he made it so that we could have a Rey and we can have a Kylo Ren. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and as far as gray Jedi go, I mean, my favorite Star Wars character of all time is Qui-Gon Jinn. And like I was talking about this before the show. My favorite Star Wars movie, Empire Strikes Back. I think that's the best.
Of course, I mean,
but second favorite is Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is my second favorite Star Wars movie. I love watching it because Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul are like my two favorite characters ever. Like,
I will give you this. I'll give you this. Top 3 lightsaber battles, and if you say it's number 1, I wouldn't argue with you, is the battle with Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul.
Do you want to know why? Also, another reason why I love Phantom Menace, and another reason that battle is so awesome, that is John Williams' best movie soundtrack. Duel of the Fates.
This is a whole nother
so
conversation
good.
because you don't understand, man. He did Jaws. There's a whole lot of John
Oh,
Williams.
I know.
That's
a big statement. I mean,
But
if I'm not mistaken, he did Schindler's List. This man, he did Superman. Like,
when you're talking about, I think the film score can set the whole atmosphere of the movie, and I think
agree.
he did that best. Out of all the Star Wars movies, he did that the best in Phantom Menace. I think
this is what I'll say, because I know we're not talking about this movie, but this is something that I remember thinking as a kid, and as I got older, it really resonated with me. Mm-hmm. Jaws and Steven Spielberg has said this a million times. If Steven Spielberg could have made the movie like he wanted to make it, it would have looked like Deep Blue Sea. He said it. But the shark didn't work. So he had to figure out ways to represent the shark without showing the shark. And he said if it wasn't for John Williams, and actually go back and rewatch it and it will fuck your whole head up. John Williams coming up with that score, that dun-na, 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 dun-na. Take that out the movie, you have no movie. Like you don't really have a shark the whole movie. You only see it like 10, 20, 15 minutes. But that movie got people to the point where even me as a kid, I didn't want to even take a bath. And a shark can't fit in the tub. People were not going swimming, period. The blockbuster was invented because of Jaws. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll use an example that relates to the topic at hand. I mean, well, first the first one I'm going to mention is Joker. Which doesn't fit the topic, I know, but the second one does. Joker. Every time there was somebody died, the music made it feel like there was a dead body in the room.
Oh, I
agree. If you took the music out, it would not feel that way.
I agree.
And then a Star Wars example, Episode 4, Luke looking at the sunset.
Agree.
You almost get a whole train of thought from that score. And if you take the music out, it's just a dude looking at the sunset.
Right.
Like that's a crazy example of that to me.
So what are you thinking, Carter?
I'm thinking, first of all, to get slightly back on the topic of the unpopular opinion, I was thinking that when someone says that Phantom Menace is their favorite film, it's kind of like someone saying that Long John Silver's is their favorite restaurant. But that's mean as shit, though. That's really mean. But the crunchers have a nuance, man.
Yeah, and also,
we all joke, and a lot of restaurants have been closed since, the pandemic. But not a single Long John Silver's has been closed down.
Because
all of them are still here.
The reason why they still open is because in regular time, it's like a pandemic. Nobody going during regular time.
Oh yeah, dude. All their customers had COVID 3 years ago.
Right? They over here looking like, what? Why people wearing masks? Do you see what we eat?
Yeah. No, but like I said, I didn't say Phantom Menace was my favorite. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. Second favorite. And Liam Neeson. I love Liam Neeson. I love Qui-Gon Jinn's character. I love Darth Maul's character, and I think that's John Williams' best Star Wars score. I think, man, I don't know. That one's so good.
I don't know. That's fair to say. And he did do a really good job. He did do the shit of it. I think Tremaine is just simply saying, like, when it comes to legendary shit.
Right.
And legendary doesn't necessarily mean that it's his best work, but it's a stuff that people remember. Like, we all have,
I think Duel of the Fates is. It's like Phantom Menace is people's most hated Star Wars movie, but they know Duel of the Fates right when they hear it.
But I mean,
I'll give you this. This is what I will tell you about Phantom Menace, and I will fight this to the end of time. The best teaser poster of all the Star Wars is Phantom Menace. That picture of little Anakin, but then because you don't it doesn't register until you see it a few more times. I didn't realize it maybe until like a year later. But like when you see the picture of Anakin walking in the sand, but then his shadow is Darth Vader. Whoever made that deserves all the awards. Like he he should be getting paid. He needs to be getting stimulus checks from now to the end of time. Like to make that. I haven't seen a poster on that level. I can't think of a poster on that level.
So,
like,
and my other argument, this isn't an argument for Phantom Menace specifically, but for the prequels, I guess, and it's not prequels versus original trilogy, it's prequels versus the sequels, is that there is very little like forced fan service in the prequels. When R2-D2 comes in, they don't play the Star Wars theme on a lone trumpet like they do in the sequels, you know? Anytime a character comes in, it's like, this, or remember him? And it's like, but they don't do that in the prequels, like, at all.
That's fair. That's fair. So we're going to move on to the next topic. This one is a little bit deep. So bear with me if it like isn't in your line of expertise. So Princess Leia.
Mm-hmm.
We find out kind of like later in the show, in the movie series, that she also was being trained to become a Jedi. And then she kind of quit like when she was almost there. Like, you know, Luke was training her, and then she kind of just like was like, fuck this. I don't know.
But this is after the original trilogy, right?
Yeah, correct. Like you really don't you really don't even realize that she has, well, you realize that she's connected with the Force, at least in The Empire Strikes Back. Because
you know, she said she always knew that they were siblings.
No. Remember when she was looking for Luke, and then she was like, "No, go this way."
Oh,
yeah.
It's like I felt him. The one thing that, and that's another reason why I think I appreciated the new trilogy a lot, because rest in peace to I can't remember her name.
Carrie Fisher.
Rest in peace to Carrie Fisher. But originally, I feel, because of what happened even in Last Jedi, I feel like they were setting it up that she was going to be the one to bring the balance of the Force.
Yeah. Well, and I would have loved that. But you know, she died before The Last Jedi came out. So we all went into The Last Jedi expecting she would die. And I thought when she gets blown up in the ship and she's floating out in space, I thought that would have been a great death. And then she Mary Poppins her way back onto the ship. And we're just like, what the? Okay, I guess.
I guess the only reason why I appreciated it, because they already said it. That's why they had certain pictures of her, or they were like using CGI for the last movie, because she had already shot her scenes in Last Jedi, and she was already starting to shoot the scenes for Force Awakens. They were doing it at the same time, so they had to go and make hella changes after she passed away before they can, you know, do reshoots with in post for Last Jedi. I truly believe that they were going to pass it off to her, almost like the Obi-Wan, like everything that they're using with Luke. I think they were going to give her a much bigger role, and she was going to end up, you know, sacrificing, or like she did in this movie, but we were going to probably see her a part of the big fight in the very end.
Right. And that would have been really cool. It's a shame that they didn't get to do that, but you know, anyone who's like, you know, watched The Dark Knight Rises knows that things don't always go according to plan. That's just how life is. It's unfortunate.
And and I mean, yeah, I could say some things about The Rise of Skywalker, how, like, especially towards the very end, it just felt like Star Wars Endgame. And they bring in all these ships, and it's like they tried to do what they did in Endgame, and it's like, but none of us know what most of those ships are. Like, a lot of them were just random ships. There was some. I think there was a slave ship, like the Mandalorian, like Jango Fett's looking ship, you know?
There was like a Ford Pinto in there at one point. Like, it was,
yeah.
I'm like, yes. Somebody Chevrolet pulled up with the diamond in the back.
It's just hydraulics. Why do you have hydraulics in space?
Someone pulled up in a deuce in the quarter. He rolled down the window. It was Ice Cube saying today was a good day. Yeah, they put out all the stops. You know how Disney works, but this is the thing.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't give credit, and that's kind of why I loved the last movie. I'm not gonna lie, I really loved it, but I loved it because I walked out of Last Jedi believing that Star Wars was dead. And like,
Oh,
it
yeah.
hurt me. I literally saw that movie 4 times in the theater. 4 times. That's more than any other Star Wars movie that I actually saw in the theater. I saw it that many times to make sure that I truly felt the way that I did. Because I felt
Right.
strongly. I was like, yo, y'all completely shitted on the entire series. Y'all completely threw out everything that we learned about every character and just said, screw it. I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So for them to even find something that halfway makes sense to close it out, it's like they made gumbo out of scraps, in my opinion. I understand people who hate it,
Yeah.
but he wasn't given much. I'm surprised J.J. Abrams still has his hairline.
Yeah, like I get what you mean when you said The Last Jedi ruined your hope in Star Wars. Like, because I saw that, and yeah, it did ruin my hope, but Mandalorian's the one that got it back for me. So when I went to go see the last one, the Rise of Skywalker, I was just like, well, I'm excited for Mandalorian season 2. But one thing that I do love about the sequels is some beautiful scenes. Like, I think I was in high school when the first Force Awakens trailer came out. We see the X-Wings flying over the lake, and we see the Millennium Falcon shoot up into the sky when the Star Wars theme plays, and we were going crazy. And then The Last Jedi, as shitty as it was, the fight between Luke and Kylo looked awesome. I loved that. And then same thing in the last one with Rey and Kylo on the fragments of the Death Star. Mm-hmm. Amazing scenes. I love them.
Oh yeah, that scene with them on the remains of the Death Star was probably some of the best work in those 3 movies.
You know what doesn't come up enough, and if it wasn't for the fact that I watched Star Wars in the machete order, and if you haven't, I highly recommend everybody watches the Star Wars the Skywalker saga in the machete order, because it flows way better than watching the released order, and it flows way better than watching them in 1 through 9.
What's better. The machete order?
The machete order. The way it essentially gives you the story of Anakin. So like you start off with 4, and then you go into 5, and the minute that Luke gets his arm cut or gets his hand cut off, and then they fly away, they end up taking the movie into a flashback of how Darth Vader became, or how Anakin became Darth Vader, because we learn, all right, Luke is that's his father or whatever. And then we go back to number 2. Unfortunately, we take out your favorite one, number 1, with the order, because if you really think about it, the only thing that you learn in number 1 is that Obi-Wan had someone was training him. Outside of that, there was no other. But yeah, anyways,
and where he comes from, of course,
right. No, it makes sense. But yeah, they take out number 1. They go 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. Then it goes right back into the original, the new trilogy, and just finishes it out.
Oh, huh. That's interesting.
All right.
Works amazing. It's amazing though.
Yeah. So guys, we're gonna real quick before we go to our next topic, we're actually gonna take a look at a quick also. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm getting messages while we're doing the show. I should be
I saw that one. That was cool though.
Yeah. So in related news, this past week we raised $150 for Black Lives Matter.
All right.
Yeah, and that when you think about everything that's been going on, all the stuff that's been going on in Atlanta, especially this weekend. And the things in Minneapolis and just all over the world for the past, let's see, what time is it? Ever since America's existed, I just think this is a big win. The way that they win, the way that oppression and the system and the man and the white man beats us is by making us think that we can't make a difference. And we made $150 difference. And hopefully we'll do a little bit more with this show. And speaking of which, guys, if you're enjoying what you are watching and what you're hearing, enjoying Tremaine and Cole and myself and the show in general, please make sure to donate. For donations, please send them at Venmo at BL Comedy or on the Cash App, a big $, Big Laugh Comedy. And all donations will be sent to Black Lives Matter. I think we've made some terrific progress so far, and I let's just keep going. Let's keep this shit going. We're doing a great job, and definitely owe so much of that to the production staff for this show and all the other shows. Like we've been doing amazing this past week, and I think we're going to make a big difference.
Yes, hats off. I'm not taking my hat off, but hats off.
Yeah. No. It's rough under there, guys. It's rough.
It's a pandemic under this hat. Let me tell you, brother.
Yes, absolutely. So, guys, before we get into our next subject, we're going to take a look at a little advertisement that I did for the Galactic Empire. Go ahead and take a look. Hi, welcome to Imperial Insurance. I'm Carter. How can I help you? You know, you guys just had to be recording on Casual Fridays. Here at Imperial Insurance, we're dedicated to 3 things: providing you with excellent customer service, making your claims as easy and as painless as humanly possible, and serving the Galactic Empire. I understand you have a claim about the Death Star. Here at Imperial Insurance, the Empire has been great to us, so we have to be great to you. Oh, I see. The generator blew up. Oh, the entire station blew up. Good news is you are covered. Bad news is, unlike other insurance companies, we do not insure any rebel scum, which means we pass the savings on to you. Welcome to Imperial Insurance. I'm Carter. How can I help you? Can you cut that off, please? And we're back.
Yes.
All right. Well, remember when that happened? That was good. It was a good time.
I would buy all that insurance. Normally, I don't have it, but damn it, I feel like I need it because you have sold it to me. Thank you, Father. You are my only hope.
Oh, okay. No problem. You know, I mean, tricks of the trade, young man.
I don't know if you got to buy that Imperial insurance because when it comes to life, I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, that was amazing.
God.
That was amazing. I should have let you shoot first, Cole. That was so good. That was so good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not first. Jesus.
That was great. But I will say this though, with the Imperial Insurance, especially, and it goes hand in hand with the fact that, you know, please donate because it goes to Black Lives Matter. A lot of people like to get mad and say, why are you bringing politics into Star Wars? You know, the entire saga was about fighting fascism. That's the whole thing.
And look, I think watching the prequels, I think all the political scenes are riveting. They're not talking about budgets. They're talking about, like, you know, people losing all their freedoms and
there's literally a Senate
crumbling. Yeah,
there's literally a Senate.
C-SPAN. I mean, you could do worse.
Yeah. Sure. I thought it was. I love those scenes, and I mean, do any of us hate the scene of Senator Palpatine fighting Yoda in the Senate room, throwing all those things? That's
absolutely great. And what's giving me goosebumps right now, thinking about I can't remember the quote. I'm pretty sure Cole does, but when effectively they were like, "Oh, democracy is gonna go down," and thunderous applause or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
Oh my God. To this day, watching it to this day.
Well,
it's so relevant. That whole series is really relevant.
Oh yeah, so I love when people get mad about politics in Star Wars. I'm like, do you even Star Wars correctly? Like, are you watching this?
Yeah, you can't get upset about religion and then watch the Avengers. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, that's it. That's what that whole series is about. One of them is called Thor, motherfucker. What's wrong with you?
God.
Yeah, he's a freaking god.
It's awful. And this is all relevant because Star Wars is in Marvel. We can definitely talk about that at some point. But I know you said you wanted to go on to another topic.
Yes. I wanted to talk about perhaps everyone's favorite character in the Star Wars series, Lando. Let's talk about Lando.
Dude, Donald Glover was so good.
He really was.
He did
the
a good
best
Lando.
character
He did a
in
very
that.
good-
That was so good. That's the best we could ask for, I think.
To be honest,
With
I liked what's it called? I liked Han in it too. But anyways, yeah, Lando, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Han did a good job. That I don't know who that actor is that played Han Solo in that, but he did
Yeah.
very
I like
well.
him.
Yeah, but when they were showing all of these pictures of Lando and Donald Glover as Lando, I thought they were going to make a Lando movie, and I was very disappointed. That's what happened. He was just like, once again, like the sort of the black buddy. But I guess what I want to talk about as far as Lando is, do you think that at any point he redeemed himself for what he did, like kind of betraying Luke, Han and Leia and everything?
Well, I feel like he redeemed himself in the very next movie.
The original trilogy is they show us the difference between dark and light, and then they give us all these gray characters, and I think that's what Lando is. He's not a dark or light guy. He does what's good when when it's important. I don't know.
I think he's just a person that's just doing the best he can, and
making his way through the galaxy. Yeah,
making his way. This makes me think like intergalactic good times so bad, but we're not going to do it.
Hanging in the child line.
Fighting these stormtroopers through times.
Hey, this got really black. But we're talking about Lando. I guess it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But
I think Cole's like, you know what? I'm gonna just take a seat back on this one. I'll just chill on this.
Oh man, sometimes you just gotta sit from the sidelines.
Just listen. You be an ally by listening. That's what I saw it on a meme. It was on a meme once. It was a good meme. But no, one thing that we need to acknowledge is Lando, because you got to think this was just a space opera. And it was a space Western. That's all Star Wars was.
And a fantasy. Fantasy, more not a sci-fi. Prequels are sci-fi, not the original trilogy.
But yeah, if we're talking about the original trilogy, Lando and Han, that's why they changed it last minute into him not shooting first and had Greedo shoot first, because technically they were both the same people. The only reason why Han became good was because the end goal was the fact that he liked Leia and he wanted money and he wanted the fame. That is all his motivation was. Lando, all he wanted to do, at least he had a better reason for fucking over everybody. He wanted to save the planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not even self-preservation. Self-preservation isn't even fair. It was his entire people. It was all Cloud City. Like,
nobody talks about this at all, and it's messed up. And it's funny that I didn't realize it until you watch what was it? Not Clerks. It was Chasing Amy. They talk about it, but Lando was considered to be. He was the only black character we got, and then he backstabs all of the other Caucasian characters. But before you got Lando, who was the blackest person in the universe? Darth Vader. Yeah. Not only was he the blackest person in the universe, what was it voiced with? James Earl Jones. You don't get any blacker than James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
yeah. So like
before black people, there was nothing except for James Earl Jones.
Period. I mean, there was. I think that Jesus, but like James.
No. Morgan Freeman is the Jesus to James Earl Jones.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. But that's what kind of sucked about the original trilogy is they almost set up the black characters to be the scapegoat characters, to be the ones that you hate most. But when you really break it down, they were just the exact same as the other great characters, if not more noble.
Yeah. And I mean, I have no place saying this because I'm not a woman, but everybody bashes the Star Wars, the original trilogy, for not having any strong female role models. And I feel like that has the strongest female role model that was being shown at the time. Princess Leia, she was the damsel in distress and took over the escape operation. They pretty much just had to open the door for her.
I think that it was good that she was. You're right. She was the strongest. She ran the whole resistance.
Yeah.
She even said this. I know it was in a roast, but she even said it. She was like, "Yeah, you made me a strong character, but could you have given me more clothes? It was the
Oh
future.
yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, that's true.
Why am
And
I
the
wearing
fact
a
that she
seatbelt?
was the only one. There was only one other lady in the whole and she was just another commander on a ship or something. But
they
yeah,
both of them, if you look at them, they both were wearing white
no
see-through.
bras.
No bras.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like
They didn't have bras in space. They
Right,
didn't
it was
have
like-
bras
Yeah.
back then.
they didn't have bras and black people back then. It was like, come on. I mean, this is the future. These people
Right.
didn't make it. And then
Yeah.
that's why George Lucas went back and was like, I should probably, that's why he even went even more with what was her Amidala. That's why she
Oh,
had
yeah.
all of the clothes.
Every
Yeah,
single scene,
not in
especially
episode 2. She a tiger or a tiger
Oh, when
monster ripped her a midriff.
She had a
yeah.
Yeah, people couldn't handle her midriff. Yeah. That was-
changed clothes in every single scene in episode 1. Every
She
single
was
time.
Beyonce before Beyonce. She was doing all kind of wardrobe changes. I was like, how did you change your headdress too?
Yeah, where did you get the time? This is not an award show. Like, what are you doing?
But
Calm
I think
down.
that's why I loved Rogue One so much, because it was like, yo, this is what feminism should look like. You have a character that's
That was
extremely
real
Or
gray.
the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 Iden
Game.
Versio. That character was great.
Oh, I need to get into those games because I
Dude,
watched my roommate play them, and it looks like the storyline is like I would just sit there and watch.
The storyline is awesome.
For the storyline.
Well, but I mean, with EA games, you got to be careful with online because they're kind of pay to win. But with storyline, it's great, and with split screen 2-player, it's amazing.
Bet. What you think about this, Carter?
Honestly, I've never played any of the Star Wars video games before. I've never played any of it. I know, and everyone pretty much reacts that way, especially if they white.
Dude, Force Unleashed is good content. Force Unleashed is good bonus content.
I know. I don't know. But in general, I know that I'm literally the host of a show called Geek'd Out. I'm just going to tell you guys this straight up. I don't really play that many video games. I don't have any consoles. I don't own any consoles. I've just never really been a big video game person.
See,
also, I don't know anything about anime.
We talked about this earlier when Cole, I don't know if this was on the show or not, but when Cole was talking about how he had gone to a lot of pawn shops and what have you. I know pawn shops well. Why? Because I pawned my last system and I haven't played a system since. Like I can tell you how to play everything up to about PlayStation 3.
Whoa.
I don't got time. I mean, I put all my time and effort into doing comedy and
I barely play video games anymore. Like I could play for maybe I'll play a sports game and I'll play for maybe one game and then I'm done for the day or sometimes the week. I don't play any anymore.
I just don't have time.
I think just for me, it is come down to time. I'm working on finishing up my degree. I'm finishing up my BA in theater, and
of course,
after that. Yeah, absolutely. I was a theater nerd back in 2005, and I'm just now finishing up my degree.
Your glasses says that you're always working on your degree, brother. I see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so
you're the dude in the brochure that they
right?
that they used to say that it's not all white people there.
He's the one holding the degree in the brochure looking like.
Oh yeah, I'm also
he's the one taking it. He's the one. He's the professor teaching the class outside for some reason.
Right, and he's pointing at something. You don't know what he's pointing at, but he's like,
yeah.
By the way, having class outside is some bullshit. It's hot. It's ants. It's not fun being outside for class. I don't know. I know you want to get fresh air, but.
It's not like captain, my captain.
That's Texas. You're talking about Texas, though. Bend, Oregon, springtime. It's nice out.
Yeah, because of all them goddamn trees.
And it's dry. It's not humid and muggy. You know.
Yeah, it's comfortable in Oregon, in March.
But it gets
here.
Hot.
It's already getting bad. It already gets bad.
When I went to Austin, I was expecting it to be super muggy. And I went there in March before it got real hot, but it was the perfect amount of comfort, as far as humidity went.
How do you feel, Carter? What do you feel about this?
All right. So the next one, we're going to go ahead and take a. Actually, let's just go ahead and go right into Mandalorian and just let's go ahead and close out on that.
Thank you. Let's do it.
Okay, because I know that's pretty much what everyone is on everyone's mind. Mandalorian was amazing. They are coming out with the season 2. I don't know if they've already shot it. You know, one thing about this whole pandemic, the reason that I finally started paying attention is because movies that I was looking forward to watching in the theaters have been pushed back 6 months. And that's where I was like, oh man, this might be serious. Oh boy. Oh,
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal. Like, you know, they did it with Black Widow and a bunch of all the Marvel stuff has been pushed up. Everything's pushed up. Or some of the stuff that they don't think is going to make any money anyway has just been put on voodoo early. But with Mandalorian, God.
Oh,
God,
dude.
they really saved the entire franchise with that movie.
Yeah.
With that show. They did everything right. Like the entire story. I only knew a little bit about Mandalore at the time, like what I had seen in Clone Wars. And, and you know, when you like watch Clone Wars and you see Death Watch, and you see like, you know, wow, they used to have a very violent nature. They used to
Okay.
Yeah.
Really quick, 'cause I looked this up because you asked, or have they already shot? Have they started shooting? They've already, not only have they started, they've already finished, and it's coming out in October.
Finished.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're getting episodes from Peyton Reed, who did Ant-Man. We're getting an episode from Robert Rodriguez, who did Sin City and other awesome shit. We're getting Carl goddamn Weathers, Apollo Creed. Yes, we getting Apollo Creed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Throw in the towel. We getting Apollo Creed.
I love
He directed episode.
Yeah, I love that Taika Waititi got involved in the first season. That was tremendous.
Oh yeah, he did the last episode. And
Yeah,
then the dialogue between the two. I love how they're okay with pointing out all of the awful things about Star Wars, like how they kept trying to shoot the little animal on the ground, but they couldn't hit him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Like little things. I just love it.
Yeah, and just it made it a Western again.
Yes.
They made it a Western again. Things I'm excited about for season 2 are, obviously Ahsoka and Captain Rex, but Boba Fett. He's out of the Sarlacc pit. And the guy who played Jango Fett in the prequels is going to play him and Captain Rex. That's blew my mind.
What's also amazing? Oh, yeah, yes. That's what I was going to bring that up. Thank you, Chris. Another thing that's actually amazing is that this, and I said this earlier in the episode, the whole saga is technically a spaghetti Western. And the reason why is because when you have the protagonist who often just doesn't give a shit, he's doing whatever he wants for his own gain. The only reason why they become a good guy is because for self gain. And it just so happens that he loves the baby. He loves, Baby Yoda. They call him the baby. Yeah. But the only reason he started wrecking shop was because he looked at the baby and was like, you know what? I'm killing everybody. I like this kid. And that's really all it is.
Well, I think he just found his line. I think everyone is a little bit bad. Everyone is a little bit shitty. If we've learned anything, especially from the past couple weeks, is that everyone has a little bit of shittiness in them. But he learns that, he's a bad guy, but he also realizes, okay, this is where I draw the line. I've killed a lot of people.
That was his chance out, I think.
Yeah,
Baby Yoda was his chance out of that, his view on himself as a bad guy.
But Chris brought up Sergio Leone, and I think it's a great point to bring up. When you look at things like the Man with No Name trilogy, these aren't good people. And that's the thing. That's the difference between a regular Western and spaghetti Western is the only reason why they're doing good is because they just happen to like one or two people. That's it. It doesn't mean that they're a good person. It just so happened that they met the one person that they will do anything to protect, or they found the one thing that they would do anything to protect. That is the only he is not a good person. Period. He's just not.
Yeah. But in this case, it doesn't really matter if he is.
No,
Like,
right.
I mean,
It fits where we think that he should be doing too, and that's a good spaghetti western. That's why you have Han Solo. People never really registered that he was truly a scoundrel. He was truly, he would do anything to get over on anybody. But why didn't you care? Because he happened to be good for Leia and Luke, and that's the only reason why people are like he's a good guy, because he's really not a good guy.
That's the only reason I wasn't a huge fan of the Solo movie, is we don't really get to see what made Han Solo that way. All the questions I had about Han Solo were not answered at the end of that movie. He still seemed like
in a way we did.
Happy-go-lucky hero guy, and it's like, no, he's not a happy-go-lucky hero when we see him. I would love to see what made him that way. But in the way
we did, because I can't remember his actual name in the movie, but Woody Harrelson, his character was the person who trained and basically gave Han Solo his way, and he was a fucking awful person. So Han Solo truly had no father, and that was his father figure. So that's what he learned to be, quote unquote, the way. That was his way.
Right.
That was his moment. That was his I think every tragic character has sort of this Dr. Faustus moment, or where they can either go to good or they can go to bad. And I think when he shot that dude, that was him deciding, okay, this is who I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to be this person.
But again, it comes back full circle. Why was he doing it? Because he liked that girl.
Yeah. But to get back to Mandalorian, how cool were the super battle droids? That was so awesome. We'll never see super battle droids in that high def ever again. That was so cool.
I love that. Two things. I love the fact that you have Bryce Dallas Howard, who directed an awesome episode. She directed the episode where I can't remember when they brought down one of the walkers. I can't remember the name of the walker, but when they were in the village.
Yeah.
She directed that episode.
The ATST. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, yeah, and the movement on the assassin droid. That's another thing I was going to bring up. They barely use CGI. That is so amazing. Jon Favreau deserves a holiday.
Those look so amazing.
Oh my god!
Yeah, give him a street. Give him a street.
He deserves his own street. It should go. What's it called? Barack Obama Boulevard, Black Lives Matter Boulevard, Jon Favreau. He needs his own street. That's what I'm saying.
Was his first thing that most people know about Iron Man? Was that his first thing that most people know of him for?
Yeah, that's the first thing. I mean, he was in
much before that major stuff, but
he's in right.
Yeah, he's buddies with Vince Vaughn for a very long time.
Or very bad things.
Oh, he did Elf too.
Yeah, but Elf, yes, he did. He did direct Elf. You're absolutely right.
But look at how far he came since Iron Man. When you see Iron Man versus Mandalorian, you go, damn, that's a whole different team too, but still, it's crazy.
But see, I'm one of the people who believe that showed, first of all, Elf kind of makes sense because he was kind of still a comedy. But when he did Iron Man, that's when he transcended. It's like, no, you are a staple, almost like looking at Ron Howard. It's like, yeah, we love you as a director, or Clint Eastwood. We love you as a director. But then when they drop that movie where you're like, oh, okay, you're not playing. You are a filmmaker. And that's Jon Favreau. I'm so glad that he did Mandalorian.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd already taken him seriously for a long time. I loved what he did with Chef. That was great.
Oh, yeah. That made me love Cubano sandwiches before I even had one.
Oh, yeah. That whole dude. And then John Leguizamo. I think maybe we'll just have a Geek'd Out episode where we just all discuss our love of John Leguizamo.
What I love about Chef is Chef showed that, hey, look, I am famous enough that I can make a movie where hot chicks love me. Like that. That's how you know you've made
it.
Yeah.
That's how you know you've made it. When you're Woody Allen your way without the allegations, when you're making movies where hot women actually like you, you have really transcended to it. And I actually liked Cowboys and Aliens. I know that's a whole nother conversation, but I thought
me too.
I'll sit down and watch it. I'll sit down and watch it, and we'll have an episode about that as well.
I love Chris, but I love how we brought up Woody Allen, and then the first thing Cole said was "Me too, me too." I'm glad we're making sure that women are being heard. That this is awful. He's still a thing, but Jon Favreau, on the other hand, amazing.
Jon Favreau should absolutely be celebrated. So guys, I think that is the end of our first episode of Geek'd Out. Thank you all so much. I want to thank Tremaine Bradley and Cole Robeson. You guys, this has been awesome. We'll definitely do this again. I also want to thank Brandy and Chris and Brandon Lloyd, the entire production team. If you guys, once again, want to donate to the show and help us out in any way, please make sure to donate at Venmo at BL Comedy, or you can do it on the Cash App. It's $, Big Laugh Comedy, and all donations this week will go to Black Lives Matter. Let's keep progressing, and let's keep being better. Let's keep doing better than what we've been doing. Guys, thank you so much. This has been Geek'd Out. Make sure to check us out next week, and we'll be back in a couple weeks with In the Meantime as well. I've been Carter Anderson, and we'll see you later.
You have been watching Geek'd Out with your host, Carter Anderson, and his guests, Tremaine Bradley and Cole Robeson. Join us next time as we explore the more pressing topics of nerddom. Good night.
Oh, that's awesome.